Hey guys, this is Tim with BleepinJeep. Today I'm going to be sharing a little quick tip with you on how to prolong the life of your spark plugs and your cap and rotor. A lot of people will go out and buy a brand new cap and rotor and brand new spark plugs to do a tune-up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's necessary to buy all those parts brand new. But most of the time, if you pull a spark plug out or you look at your cap and rotor, there isn't really any damage to it. It's just corroded or has some kind of a residue buildup, whichever it may be. And a way to avoid spending money on brand new parts but to get the same tune-up results is just to clean it back to bare metal using sandpaper or a dremel, whichever you have or whichever you prefer. Alright, well today I'll be showing you how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is pull out a spark plug here to clean up. And I'm not saying that sandpapering or Dremel cleaning your spark plugs and cap and rotor are the end all to not having to buy new components. But if your vehicle's has been in good running order and you know that your spark plugs aren't rusting or falling apart, if your vehicle hasn't been sitting, and you just want to give it a little bit of a tune-up, there's really nothing wrong with cleaning these parts instead of buying brand new ones. In my green XJ out front there, I've had the same spark plugs, cap and rotor in that one for probably over 60,000 miles now, and I've probably Dremel cleaned the plugs and the cap and rotor maybe 3 times in 60,000 miles, and that Jeep runs perfectly fine. It feels very well tuned. In fact, just yesterday I drove 180 freeway miles and I averaged 21 miles per gallon. So it's definitely running right. Alright, so this is my number 2 spark plug that I just pulled out of my white Jeep. And you can see it's got some carbon buildup on it, but it doesn't look too bad. Alright, well, let's take it over to the bench here and clean it up. If you haven't used one of these wire wheels on a Dremel before, I definitely recommend wearing eyeglasses, safety glasses rather. So you can see that's already quite a bit cleaner than it was. And even if you do have a Dremel, maybe the sandpaper would be good to fit in here and just scrape some stuff around. Alright, well that's really about all it takes to clean up your spark plugs. And just look them over real good, make sure that nothing's getting too degraded or anything, but in my case these look fine. Before you pull your cap and rotor off, I recommend taking a second to jot down which order your spark plug wires go in, and that'll save you a lot of headache and time when you go back to reinstall everything. This will just come right off. Here's our cap and rotor removed from the vehicle, and if you're not familiar with these, this is what distributes spark to your cylinders. So the spark comes from here, touches right there, and then this spins inside of this cap, sending spark to each one of those terminals as it goes, something like that. And so basically I'm just going to clean any contact point. I can see there's some kind of oil or something in here, and these terminals inside aren't bad. You want to look for pitting. If they're deeply pitted, you might consider buying a new cap. They're inexpensive anyways, but if you can take the time to clean them up, it's still worth your while. Alright guys, well hopefully this video will help you save a buck or two. And as I had mentioned throughout this video, occasionally these components should be replaced. They are meant to be. But before you go out and buy brand new ones, take your spark plugs out, pull your cap and rotor out, look at them. If the metal doesn't look too degraded, too pitted, clean them up. If they have a big buildup of whatever it may be on the plugs or whatever, try sanding them with some sandpaper or taking a wire wheel to them and see how they look. As I mentioned, my other Jeep that I've had for 5 years now, I have 60,000 miles on those plugs and cap and rotor, and I've just Dremel cleaned them a couple times throughout that 60,000 miles, and that Jeep runs great. Never had to spend money on replacing plugs or cap and rotor every 20,000 miles or whatever the manufacturer suggests. So just keep that in mind, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Check out BleepinJeep.com, lots of cool stuff there, and we appreciate you watching. Thanks.